Alright, quick review tonight, July 24th, 2024, Wednesday, uh, here at precisealgorithmtrading.com. So we had a big down day today. The which totally makes sense in the scheme of things. Looking over here on the right-hand chart, we've got this is the mix of all the indexes, so it's kind of like a proxy for what I'd call the overall market. So we've had these rallies, these swings, and really that's one up, two down, three up. This doesn't really count for two, not in my opinion, because we really just went sideways to up. And now we've pulled back, and we still have a future bullish cloud. However, the monthly chart's looking pretty rough, and we've also got what looks like the beginnings of bearish momentum. And so I don't really care because I'm not trading this particular instrument because it's not really one. And if we look at the S&P, it's getting to the point where it's going to bottom out probably here at the 2 ATR and the 3 ATR. Average true range is what that is. And we've got a bullish future cloud, but it's in certain jeopardy if you ask me. So because look, we got the same thing going here, but we're still, a week or so away from the end of the month. I didn't do the math on the month yet. This is the beginning of the month back here. Actually, we need to go from the beginning of the actual 7-1. So, yeah, right now, this particular the S&P 500 is down for the month, and you can see July, 90% of the time it's up an average of 3.12%. So I wonder if we're going to get a rally back into some kind of a mid zone here or something like that before we roll back over some more. Yeah, we'll see about that. So the S&P went down 2.31% today, and that's just, like I say, it's pretty rough. The Russell went down 2.13% today. However, this is holding up pretty nicely, right at that line, which is just sort of amazing to me. The Dow went down 504 points, and we're at 39,853. So we're back under 40,000. However, we're only in a green or a gray candlestick situation here. So we had the breakout to the upside, and we've now pulled back to, if this was resistance, now this should become support. And it's going to be a zone. It's not exactly here, although it's pretty wild that it's sitting right on that line. That line's computer generated, so it's pretty cool. And a big tail here. So the question for me is going to be, do we get a rally that this comes back up here and this doesn't look like any kind of a finishing candlestick for the end of the month? And we got basically, like I said, a week to get there. So we'll see what happens. So then the NASDAQ today went down 3.64%. So that's looking really bad. And we're down at the 3 ATR level here. So completely washed out from from the and we also put in this still could be a higher low, and these lows could just be negated because they didn't even pull back to 50% of this total rise. So that's probably where my money's at, is that this is going to be the new higher low, and this thing's going to rally out of this, which will blow people's minds because it used to blow mine. And literally, there's nothing bearish about this chart yet. I mean, we have to take out this pivot and get down here into this breaking this zone down here, and this will have to roll over into red like it did back here to really get bearish. And I just don't see that happening really this cycle. So, all right, IYT, which actually looked like it was going to rally, and now I've got to set a stop, or I could just leave my stop in place, give it one more day, because we do have a bullish future cloud, and a couple other reasons why I'd want to hold on to this. So I'm going to actually hold that. That's transports, although it's looking rough over here on the monthly chart. But again, that could rally and get us out of being red again just by getting up above the yellow line that's on there. So, and you can see tomorrow's price action already. I mean, the Dow's up 99 points, or 0.25%. Now that's, I don't think any of this stuff looks like reversals today. Let's look at Nvidia because it's such a driver. So there you go. There's going to be a ton of people clamoring to get back into Nvidia when the time comes. Tesla was the news of the day, and I covered this last night and said it was going to open up down around here, which was I think 226, and that's pretty much exactly what it did. But I'm looking for, this was a nice breakout impulse wave, and I'm looking for the pullback and a reason to get in and go long here. And the next time we have earnings is all the way out to October 16th, so that could be a great trade when the time comes. It's not tomorrow for me because I need to see some capitulation and something like a reversal starting to happen. All right, oil. Oil started to bounce today right in the zone where it needs to, and I did go, I think, partially in on the bounce. Now I'm way too early. That's why I only did partial. But I think we're going to get I'm banking on the potential for this thing basically starting to rally from here. And how will I know if I'm wrong? Well, we'll close underneath a cloud for one thing. And if I do that, then I'm going to get out. All right, gold. Gapped lower, is hanging lower. It still looks like a future more bullish than bearish situation. Bonds. I was looking to get into this, but now it's looking pretty rough. So no dice yet. I did happen to take this trade yesterday, and it's feeling pretty good. Took it off of this signal right here, and boom. And now I'm waiting to see if it turns into a bullish, something more than just a trade, maybe a longer term thing on the monthly chart. So, all right, that's enough of that. Let's go to, well, the VIX. So the VIX actually, here, put this back to yes. The VIX actually came in and felt good for a moment, for a day or so. And then, yeah, we've got basically it's a bigger shock wave than the first one. So it's kind of like this when it pulled back and then it went higher. Or if we went back in time, something like this, or one of these, where we're getting a lot more volatility than that initial just kick. So, which is what it's going to take to reverse this market. I shouldn't say reverse it, but to get it where everybody starts to go bearish, and then the marketeers, the big money, can actually send it back up again. Why do I say send it back up again? Well, because I go back to the point and figure charts, and the long-term one that we look at every now and then, that it's not in here, it just went bullish not very long ago, and I think it's going to be there for weeks to months. And so then I keep track of these, which the industrials today went down 4.76%. The NYA down 0.98%. The transportation index rolls over to a new column of O's. However, we're on a point and figure buy signal. So if we roll back to a new column of X's, this is just really fuel for a rally. Even though that's counterintuitive to everything I just basically showed you and we're talking about. Minus 8.33%. The NASDAQ down 1.61% today. The S&P 500 down 3.53%. Not on a point and figure buy signal. It's still on a point and figure sell signal. Was that the S&P? Down 3.53, correct. The S&P 100 down 4.35%. Boy, we're still up in the 60 zone, and really a pullback deeper would actually give us a more bullish outlook going forward, but I don't see that happening. And then the NASDAQ 100 tacked on 2 new O's to the downside, down 10.87%, sitting in a potential, this is kind of what I'm talking about, a deeper pullback can get us to a place where we're way too oversold, and we're in this 40%. So 40% of the NASDAQ now, or actually 41.00%, is of the NASDAQ stocks are on a point and figure buy signal. That means that 59% of them are on point and figure sell signals, or yeah, I think it's one or the other. So yeah, so basically the odds and the counterintuitive move is for this thing to roll back up again. And that goes hand in hand with what I said about the bigger instrument actually rolling over, within the last week. And ever since then, we've been actually going down in the markets, which one of these days is, that thing will take over and the markets will probably rally. And so that's what I got. And in the meantime, I just take it one trade at a time. Until next time, take care, guys, and hang on tight.